So if you're not aware, Tim Dillon has been confirmed, courtesy of fucking Turkish, right? That Turkish guy has confirmed that Tim Dillon will be performing in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. It's been a bit controversial within the stand-up comedy scene. A bunch of people, industry, a bunch of comedians have been booked for a Riyadh comedy festival, which is happening in the end of September to the beginning of October. A bunch of people are playing there. All your favorite comedians are playing there, don't worry. Bill Burr is playing there. Surprisingly enough, Bill Burr is one of the most surprising ones on the list. Everyone else is on there I don't really care about or not that surprised about. But Bill Burr, because of his stance against corporations, his stance against billionaires, and him advocating for certain countries and people and shit, I was kind of surprised to see him agree to go and perform in Saudi Arabia with all their human rights violations and shit. You know, do what you want, obviously, but I was a bit, interesting. Can you really talk, ill of the billionaires and shit when you're going to line the pockets of people who are essentially enslaving people, chucking people off of buildings and shit? I don't know. All weird. Courtesy of that guy called Turkish Alasheki, right? How do you say that? Alasheki? Or whatever, you know him, guy. The Turkish guy that everyone has to hold his hand. You know that weird dude? That weird Middle Eastern dude that's he makes everyone hold his hand. So this is the confirmation. He says, courtesy of Twitter, Tim Dillon means endless comedy on stage in Riyadh as part of the world's biggest comedy festival, October 8th, Boulevard City, Abu Bakr Al-Shidi Theatre. There's a picture of him performing, event link, book where you can book the tickets and shit. And there's the fucking poster of him performing as well, right? So there we go. Tim Dillon will be performing at the Riyadh Comedy Festival on October 8th. Big up Josie. There is actually a list here. Let me see. There's actually a list of it. There's a picture. Where's the picture? There's a picture somewhere. I think it's on Bill Burr's subreddit actually. There was a picture of the entire people. But there we go. That's a list of the entire people performing, I think anyway. So there you have it. That's a full list of people performing there. Sam Morril, Tom Segura, Mark Normand, Chris Stefano, that guy that got cancer, I forgot his name, Bobby Lee, and Andrew Santino will be there for Bad Friends. Andrew Schultz will be there, Kevin Hart, Louis C.K., I forgot that guy's name. Fluffy, my guy Fluffy's gonna be there. Bill Burr's gonna be there. Like a bunch of people. Whitney Cummings is there. Big up Ashley Cummings. What you call it? My guy fucking Sebastian Maniscalco's there. So a bunch of people are performing at the Riyadh Comedy Festival, as you can see there. Might not be the full list, but that is so far the list I've seen online. A bunch of big people performing. Big up Ason AZ. Did you see the story about the British parachute chick didn't pull her chute after the dude broke up with her? No, I didn't see that. I'll have to check that out. Yeah, that's it. Jessica Kirsten's there. So yeah, that's what's happening, right? And Tim Dillon, as I said to you before, has been confirmed to be performing. Well, Tim Dillon decided to comment on it because he tried to, I won't say he tried to get ahead of it, it's just his regular podcast, but he did reply to probably some of the negative comments that'll probably come his way in a very Tim Dillon-esque way. Now, I don't think a lot of Tim Dillon fans will have a problem with it because me, myself, being a Tim Dillon fan, I'm very aware that Tim Dillon is in it for the bag. Tim Dillon's always been infatuated by wealth, not even rich people, but wealthy people. He loves hanging out in groups of people where they're kind of like higher class people, higher fucking status people and shit. He loves all that sort of shit. He loves kind of talking about that sort of shit, being around that sort of shit. So it's no surprise that he would, accept that money to go to sort of type of places. And he's also in it for the bit, I'd imagine as well. That kind of makes it funny. And also, just doesn't give a fuck, I think. And I like how he's honest about that at least. He really doesn't care about whatever human violations go on in Saudi Arabia. As long as they're paying him, he doesn't give a fuck. And he's not trying to pretend like he gives a fuck, which I guess is better because a lot of comedians out there will try and pretend and virtue signal, whereas Tim Dillon's like, look, I'm all about the bag. So he does decide to respond to it via the recent episode of Tim Dillon podcast in a very funny way. I'm going to play the clip for you here that I pulled, where Tim Dillon responds to the inevitable backlash he will get for performing at the fucking Riyadh Comedy Festival, but he doesn't seem to give a fuck. So let's listen to what Tim Dillon has to say about performing at the Riyadh Comedy Festival. Oh yeah, talking about money. I'm not sure if he was joking. Talking about money. I'm not sure if he was joking, but later on in the clip, Tim Dillon says he got paid $375,000 to perform 1 hour. He got paid $375,000 to do 1 hour of comedy. But he said other people on that list got paid millions. So I'm assuming the Kevin Harts of this world, I forgot the other Asian guy's name, but there's a few of them on there. So he got $375,000 allegedly, Tim Dillon, for 1 hour.
Riyadh, baby, we're in Saudi Arabia. Come on, get your tickets now. Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Tim Dillon live in the capital. Is it the capital? Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, October 8th. October 8th. The day after, October 7th. Just funny how it all works. Not something that I had planned.
Yeah,
by the way.
Yeah, right.
It's just something that happened. I will be in Riyadh at the Riyadh Comedy Festival at the Bakr Al-Shedi Theater. Come see me at the Bakr Al-Shedi. And apologies if I am not pronouncing that correctly. I don't know. I imagine I'll be doing more in the Middle East. I imagine we all will, actually. We'll be doing a lot. And there are people, and I'm doing Abu Dhabi the night before. We don't have that information yet, Jesus, but come on out. Come on out for a night of laughter in Abu Dhabi. Am I doing Abu Dhabi? I think October 6th. I think we're chilling on the 7th. I don't think we're doing anything on the 7th because my agents are very worried. But I think... this is exciting. I think it's very exciting that we're all going to Riyadh. And I know that people are very upset about it. They're angry that comedians are going to Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. They're very angry. They don't believe in anything. Get over it. Get over it. We're going to Riyadh.
And that's what I don't get. This is the only thing I don't like, Like, I understand going after the bag and securing the bag, whatever the means, whatever the circumstances. But I don't like that they mock people who don't believe in that. So if people maybe choose morals and principles over money, they mock them. It's not like I respect on either side to be like, okay, cool. I know you wouldn't do this because you have principles and morals and something, you couldn't basically co-sign that sort of stuff or encourage it, but I don't. But I don't like the mocking, like making it seem as if like if you're somebody that has principles or you have any type of morals or scruples, then you're a loser. You just don't get it. You're the idiot. You're the one playing the game wrong. You should actually be living life where you just try and ascertain or collect as many money bags as possible, no matter where they come from, no matter where the fucking source, no matter who gets hurt. As long as your pocket gets lined, it's okay. I don't think that's cool. Obviously, you can not care about what's going on there. You can not care about what you're doing because essentially the Saudi Arabian government are basically trying to whitewash what they do. They did it with dance music, they've held festivals and stuff. They're trying to make that region of the world more appealing to Westerners, but they know they don't have a good reputation. So it's weird because I've always thought to myself, it does go to show how evil the world is, because Abu Dhabi and these places, they have a lot of they have a long storied history of human rights violations, right? Slavery, modern day slavery, all this sort of nonsense, right? Horrible shit. And they don't have a good reputation worldwide. It always surprised me the amount of money they have, right? Why they don't just try to fix it by just not continuing to subjugate, hurt, and abuse people. When no one's saying they have to turn into Berlin and be super sexually liberated and shit, but I never understood the approach that they have now, where we'd rather do this propaganda shit, we'd rather whitewash what we do by inviting all these Western comedians to come over to make it seem as if everything is blessed, and we'll even book a gay comedian to make it seem like there's no issue with gay people here, instead of just fixing it and not having issues with gay people. you know, instead of fixing it and not, you know, basically not basically making slavery legal, you know, just do that instead. I don't understand why they don't do that sort of stuff. I really do wonder why they'll spend so much money on to bring comedians in, or to bring influencers in, or to bring DJs in, and not just fix their, you know, somewhat broken society.
The House of Saud is paying us hundreds of thousands of dollars, some of us millions, not me, but they're paying millions of dollars to comedians. Get over it. We're taking the money. How about that? How about that? Sorry. Oh, you weren't invited? Oh, you got nothing going on? Boo-hoo-hoo. Boo-hoo-hoo for you. I would never do it. You weren't offered. No one invited you.
Yeah, big up Shades Cow. We're all involved in Saudi money one way or the other, every single one of us. Yes, true, but there's a difference between maybe lining the pockets of the Saudi government by buying a pencil, then being booked by the Saudi government to whitewash some of their, you know, human rights violations, in order to make their country more appealing to Westerners and to people to turn a blind eye to some of the fuck shit going on behind the scenes. You know, that's essentially what they're doing. They're paying for comedians to go there. The sole purpose of it is to give their country a better image. It's basically to run cover, propaganda essentially. That's what they're doing it for. Don't get me wrong, other countries do it too, but they do some fucked up shit, you know? That's why they're doing it. There's no other reason. So I think that's far worse than maybe inadvertently buying something that's also, you know, where the money is going back to the Saudi government. But I could be wrong.
There's people that I respect that turned it down, but a lot of people are doing it, like almost everyone. A lot of people are doing it.
Doesn't make it okay though, doesn't it, mate?
They bought comedy. So what? Listen, what's your problem? Well, they have slaves, then they kill Hey. Get over it.
Get over the killing.
Get over it. So what?
This guy.
So what? They have slaves. So what?
Okay.
My friend, not a friend, somebody I don't even know. I bumped into them in Tribeca, and he goes, I would never do that because I don't want to interact with slaves. Uh-huh. I'm like, well, why not? They'd be deferential, right? I mean, I imagine the slaves in those countries are good at what they do. Well, I wouldn't want to interact. Everyone you meet there is a slave. That's what they said. Everyone that works at all the hotels, they take their passports. Yeah. They're not allowed to leave. They're slaves.
I don't know, man. Going to a country like that where they where that's a common practice, where people take the passports of like slaves that they sometimes, I think if I'm not mistaken, they said they usually take them from places like Philippines and shit and brought over to fucking the Middle East. Like having their passports confiscated and shit, so they can't leave the country, and they're there by force essentially, or they're there under duress, and then being okay to like take money from those people that are doing that sort of stuff is next level. But to be fair, that's also why I like Tim Dillon, because he is unapologetically himself at all times. And he's always been about securing the bag. Since the very first time he kind of started his pod, he's always let us know that, yeah, I want to be wealthy.
Is the hotel nice? Is it nice or not? Is it nice or not? I'm not here to be a spoil sport. Look up spoil sport, and I'm going to tell everyone what it is, because that's not what I'm here to do. I'm not on this earth to do that. Spoil sport.
Big up Black American. I want a new planet. Yeah, this place is gonna. I think it's gonna get worse before it gets better. You know, there's still several levels of degradation. There's still several grades, right? Several levels of fucking pure debauchery that are gonna happen. Like, it's gonna get far worse before it gets better, for sure. It's gonna get far worse.
Person who behaves in a way that spoils others' pleasure, especially by not joining in an activity. Yes, correct. I'm not here to be a spoil sport. I'm not here to ruin the good time that everyone's having. Do I have issues with some of the policies towards women, towards the gays, towards the freedom of speech? Well, of course I do. Of course I do. Of course I do.
Why are you taking a
But
gig then?
I believe in my own financial well-being.
There we go.
And I always have, by the way. And I think you better start believing in that.
Maybe some truth.
Okay?
Maybe some truth.
Because when Peter Thiel puts all of you in a cage,
well, she's going to.
you're going to want some way to get out of that.
He's right about that one. I actually went to double check. What are the fucking... Was it the Riyadh human rights? I want to see what they are anyway. What are the Riyadh human or the Saudi human rights violations? Yeah. Let's take a brief look at what some of the human rights violations are. 10 ways that, let's look at this one. 10 ways that Saudi Arabia, Saudi Arabia obviously could, so Saudi Arabia weren't they responsible for the Khashoggi killing, right? The guy that fucking arrived at the fucking embassy in a car and left in a suitcase. I'm pretty sure they killed Jamal Khashoggi, you know? The government. Yo, accepting money from this country is fucking crazy. 10 ways that Saudi Arabia violates human rights. Alright? 10 ways. Oh, yeah. Here are the 10 ways that Saudi Arabia violates human rights. Executions are on an increase. Saudi Arabia executed 196 people in 2002. On the 12th of March, the authorities killed 81 men in one day. The single largest mass execution in recent decades. The country ranks as the second highest for the use of the death penalty. Fucking hell. 81 men died in one day. God damn. 2. Women are highly discriminated against. Women and girls remain subject to discrimination in law and practice. The male guardianship system was enshrined in law in 2022 and means that women must have a male legal guardian. They cannot choose who this is. Jesus. Also, many women such as Lujan, who supported a campaign against the ban on women drivers, were imprisoned and harassed despite the fact that the laws that changed to allow women to drive. So Whitney Cummings is there, right? Whitney Cummings is going there. Did she post it on Instagram? I'm curious to see what the comments are on Instagram. Did Whitney Cummings post a flyer on her Instagram? Because she's one of the only women on there, right? Not Whitney Houston, sorry, Whitney Cummings, and obviously Jessica Kirsten. Let me see what they had to say. Did she post? I don't think she did post it. She's not going to be that dumb, is she? Did she post a flyer on her main feed? Nah, she didn't. She didn't. Good girl. Like she's not that dumb. She didn't post a flyer on her feed. I don't see it here. No, I don't see it. Good. Because she's gonna get destroyed if she posts it on her feed. Did she post it on her stories? No mention on her stories. All right. Let's see. Jessica Kirsten. Did she post it? I want to see if the people send me comments, because those things against women are pretty fucking deep. Did Jessica Kirsten post it? No, she did not. Smart lady. Let's not have that on the main feed, please. Let's not have that on the main feed. Okay, cool. Jesus Christ. Third thing, unfair trials and torture during detention. In 2022, Saudi Arabia authorities arbitrarily detained Ethiopian men and women and children for up to 18 months in inhumane conditions and tortured, otherwise ill-treated them before forcibly returning them to Ethiopia. They were held in overcrowded cells with inadequate access to food and water, sanitation and healthcare in 2 detention centers prior to their deportation. At least 12 of them died. Trials against people are often grossly unfair, and courts impose long prison sentences. People are often held in solitary confinement without any communication. Salam al-Shabib, a student of Leeds University, a mother of 2, was sentenced to 27 years. To be fair, this point sounds like it could happen in America. I'm not going to lie. To be fair, point number 3, unfair trials and torture during detention, sounds like stuff happens in America. Let's be fair. This happens in the Western world too. This isn't just Saudi Arabia. Migrant workers treated poorly. According to Interior Ministry, there is a consistent crackdown on foreign nationals, with 479,000 being returned home. During the same period, 14,511 foreign nationals, most of them Ethiopians and Yemens, where violence was forced men to flee, were arrested crossing the border irregularly from Yemen to Saudi Arabia. Crackdown on free media and press. The Saudi Arabian authorities control domestic media, and journalists can be imprisoned for a variety of quote-unquote crimes. Saudi authorities included the Crown Prince sanctioned the brutal murder of journalist Jamal Khashoggi after he had been critical of the government. Leadership in the country has never been held accountable for their role. So they literally killed the journalist, right? Jesus Christ. That video is really sad though, by the way. He literally arrives in the car and they basically leaves in a body bag or leaves in I think he gets stuffed in luggage. No free speech. Besides Raif Badwawi, dozens more outspoken activists remain behind bars, simply for exercising their right to freedom of expression. Many of Saudi Arabia's prominent and independent human rights defenders have been imprisoned, threatened or silenced. No LGBTQ rights, we know that for sure. Travel bans, forced evictions and no protests. So yeah, interesting place to be, interesting place to be, interesting place to be. Let's go back to Tim Dillon.
You're going to want to bribe someone. Peter Thiel has you in the prison from that movie. What's that movie where everyone's in that digital prison? Remember that movie? Well, when you're in that movie, but you can't get out. When you're in the movie of that digital prison movie and Peter Thiel's got you in, you're going to want to have a couple of shekels to go to the guy and say, let me out of here. Hit him off a little Bitcoin, little Ethereum. Let me get out of this prison. When you're Shawshanking, and that's not the movie I was talking about, it's another prison movie, I've moved on. When you're Shawshanking with the little rock hammer through the wall and you're crawling through the tunnel of shit to try to get out of Peter Thiel's prison because he's just going to do what is he? He's doing, Peter Thiel now is doing talks on the Antichrist because he is the Antichrist. So he knows about the Antichrist and he's talking about it. It's never enough to just be the thing, by the way. Mm-hmm. You have to constantly bother people. It's the reason the Long Island serial killer got caught. He couldn't shut his mouth. Mm-hmm. He went out to bars and in a very boomer-like fashion, he's like, well, if I had killed her. O.J. Simpson wrote a book called If I Did It. No one can just get away with anything. It's got to be shoved in your face. So Peter Thiel is giving talks about that he's worried about the Antichrist. He's giving a 4-part lecture. This is true. I've never heard a person talk about the Antichrist as much as this guy. So he's doing a 4-part lecture about the Antichrist. So when you're in the Peter Thiel Palantir prison, and every day is the same, and it's just going to be on closed circuit TV, or maybe he'll be a hologram at that point. I don't know. He just is going to talk to you about the Antichrist, and you're going to be in a cell in Peter Thiel's prison, and then he's just going to go, it's the Antichrist Part 3, and you're going to have to sit there and go, every day. Every goddamn day. Thiel 57 will offer his thoughts on how his Christian faith informs his understanding of the world, including areas of theology, history, literature, and politics of the Antichrist.
Jesus Christ.
As part of a 4-part lecture series at the Commonwealth Club in San Francisco. Well, doesn't that sound swell? But he's going to be giving these lectures to people that are in his prison. So you might as well have a couple of dollars to try to buy your way out of the Peter Thiel
prison
compulsory Antichrist lecture that he's going to be giving at his prison. Now, people might say to me, hey, you're coming out and saying you're doing the Saudi thing for money. They're paying you a lot of money. I'm not going to tell you how much they're paying me. It doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Doesn't matter how much they're paying me. $375,000 for one show.
Jesus Christ.
Now a lot of other people are getting $1.6 million. That's
Jesus
not me. I'm not in that bracket.
Who do you think is getting 1.6 million? Of that list you saw there, who do you think is on 1.6 million? Who do you say? If you had to guess, who do you say is getting what? Who do you say was getting 1.6 million? Probably Pete Davidson, maybe? Dave Chappelle for sure, innit? Dave Chappelle for sure. Kevin Hart, maybe? Maybe Louis C.K.? Who's getting $1 million? Maybe they offered all the $1 million, innit? Maybe all the big dogs get $1 million and everyone else gets the rest. But fucking hell, that's a lot. That's a lot of money, man.
but they're giving me $375. Others are getting $150. Why are they doing it? Here's the point. Okay? I am doing this because they're paying me a large sum of money. They're paying me enough money to look the other way. Do you understand?
So unapologetic.
Look the other way. That's a 4-word sentence that people don't do anymore. Look the other way. If something bad is happening to your left, look to your right. If, for example, I'm at a breakfast and I see someone get grabbed and they start hitting them with that, you know, that big stick. I don't know if it's bamboo or whatever it is. It's kind of a wood, but it kind of snaps back. It's perfect for a cane. If I see someone getting it, I will look the other way.
Jesus Christ.
Okay?
Jesus Christ.
If I look the other way and I see someone being behanded, meaning they're chopping a hand off, that might be interesting to just kind of see actually how they do it, because I think they do it kind of a sanitary way. But from what I've heard, you know, if they're chopping a hand, I might look down. And if I'm looking at the floor and I see some eyeless beggar grabbing at me trying to get my money, I will look up to the heavens.
Yeah,
and
we've all
if
done
in
that.
the heavens I see a drone flying over, I will look the other way because I'm being paid enough money to look the other way. What don't you understand? What is so complicated? I'm the only honest person just going to do it. Everyone else is going to have a million. They're going to go, well, actually, the Middle East is more progressive now, and he's trying to make some change. No. I'm being paid a lot of money to not care about what they do in their country.
Kind of brutal, but at least he's being honest about it. At least he's fucking being honest about it. At least he's being fucking honest about it. He is getting paid a lot of money to look the other way and not give a fuck about what they do in their own personal business, you know? Which again, you know, you have to fucking rate that. What else can you do? What else can you do? You know, me and the thing in a purple durag's fucking crazy. But yeah, I appreciate Tim Dillon. I'm not going to lie. It is a bit unhinged what he's saying. I don't agree with all of it. I do think, you know, if you have, I just don't understand sometimes. I feel like these comedians, right? They all make a lot of money anyway. It's like there's never a bag they won't do or they won't turn down. They'll rise any bag that gets mentioned, any bag that gets subbed, whatever. They're on it. You know what I mean? Which might explain again why the sales stuff so high and shit. But still, I don't know, man. I just think it's odd. You know, it's odd. All this shit is odd. These guys make tons of money allegedly. But then the first chance they get to fucking shift some like shitty, Amazon's tile type of fucking thing, suddenly they're all fucking down on their knees doing things, yeah? Look at the girl next to her. But yeah, I just don't get it. I just don't fucking get it. I feel like they all have enough money that they can chill. How much money is enough money? Do you need to secure every single bag? Is it really that important? But I'm not somebody, you know, who knows how people's bills are, what their priorities are. It's all different, who knows? But I just feel like it's like, God damn it, man. Every drop, every single one. Oh, yeah. It's rather not.